I read 12 books in the month of July. Hi, if you're new here, I'm Jess, and welcome back to my channel. I talk romantic books, mainly. I've got a couple different ones. Yeah, pat on the back for me. I am trying to branch out, but we'll get into that. Let's talk about the 12 books for the month of July that I read. I'm not going to go into a whole lot of detail. I'm going to kind of give you a little premise about what these books are about. Otherwise, this video will be like an hour long, and we don't have time for that. So let's get into it. Starting off strong, I read Lady of Shadows. This is book 2 in the Lady of Darkness series, and I loved this so much. This was such an incredible book. This series is gripping me, okay? I want to drop everything I'm reading to go and finish reading this series. I am obsessed with it. This follows Scarlett Monroe. She is an assassin. In book 2, we find out a lot more origin story about her and her mother, because in book 1, the whole premise is that she is trying to get revenge on whoever deleted her mother. This is an incredible book series, and if you are looking for something that is not Sarah J. Maas, then this is good. Then this could kind of be compared to Throne of Glass, but it's better in my opinion, and it's an adult series. So now after Lady of Shadows, I wanted something a little bit different. So different is what I got. I read Whispers of the Deep by Emma Hamm. Now this is a monster romance, okay? And I know what you're saying, monster, ew. No, this monster is a merman, okay? And he is 14 feet long. 14 feet long. Hello? And he has 2 of everything. And when I say that, I mean that. He has 2 of literally everything. So this was a really good time. This book takes place in a world where the humans live in this like underwater system. I'm so sorry if you hear my cat eating his food. Please excuse him. The humans are living in an underwater city. The humans and the mermen, which they are called the Undine, they are mortal enemies. Do you catch my drift here? Yeah. And Miss Girl is a engineer. She knows what she's doing, and he kidnaps her. And that is pretty much the premise of the book, and it's incredible. If you have not tried monster romance, I think that is definitely a safe place to start. It does have some spice, but it's great. I loved it. I had so much fun. I'm so glad I finally started my monster romance era, and now I need to find some more to read. Now, another complete 180, Red Rising by Pierce Brown. This is a sci-fi fantasy fiction. Yeah, this was so good. I really love this. This book is based on Mars, and our main character, Darrow, he has gone through some pretty traumatic events leading up to him be involved in a rebellion. And there are games and trials in this, which I was not expecting, and I was also very pleasantly surprised by this book. I really loved it. When I was like 3/4 of the way through, I went to Barnes & Noble and bought book 2 just so I could have it ready when I am ready for it. But if you are looking to broaden your horizon and branch out into something that is not your typical, this was really good. This has like a little sprinkling of romance, but an incredible book. After that, I was kind of slumping. Yeah, after reading Red Rising, that put me in like a week of book slump, because normally I generally read like 2 books a week, and that did a number on me. I did not finish a book for like a week and a half. I was trying to read one book and it just wasn't hitting the way I wanted it to, so I picked up The Wastelander by E.S. Luck. This was kind of one of those random Kindle Unlimited picks, and let me tell you, I was very pleasantly surprised by this. From the moment I opened the page 1, I was glued. Okay, I was absolutely glued. This is in a post-apocalyptic world where there was a virus. The affluent people decided they were going to build a compound and only have like engineers, doctors, people of wealth in this compound. And our FMC Claire, her father and mother were picked. So she's only ever lived in this compound. Then there's a riot that happens, and long story short, she gets out of the compound and now is trying to survive in the wasteland, where the people that have survived the virus have been told by their government that they are savages and cannibals, etc. And then she comes across John. Yeah, and he comes to save the day for Miss Claire. And it's really good. I really enjoyed it. There was a couple things that kind of missed for me. To be completely honest, it was a little bit longer than it needed to be. They threw in a little bit of the miscommunication trope, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but if it's done well. If it kind of starts to take over the whole plot of the story, then that's when it bothers me. But it was fun. Post-apocalyptic, has some spice, and I did enjoy it overall. So if you're trying to find something to help you get out of a book slump, then I would give that a go. Then I read The Serpent and the Wings of Night by Carissa Broadbent. Now this was a book that I was trying to read directly following Red Rising. And that was not a good decision for me because I don't think I did this book justice. I did enjoy it. Now, I'm not absolutely head over heels obsessed with it. Now, with Carissa Broadbent's other series, the War of Lost Hearts trilogy, I loved that. I ate that up. I loved books 1, 2, and 3. And I know some people don't really care for that series. That's fine. Reading is subjective, right? Yeah. Anyhow, now this one I did enjoy. I thought it was a good story. I think a lot of it was really slow. The buildup of the games and trials aspect was very slow. This has vampires. This has our FMC Araya. She ends up teaming up with the enemy kind of thing. So it was like set up for a really good story. I think just trying to read this after a book that I was slumping in, kind of my mistake. But regardless, I still think it's a good book. And I do want to read book 2. Now, I think the thing that ruined the whole thing for me, I saw a spoiler. Now, this book has probably been out since, I don't know when, for like 3-ish years. So, but still, if you're going to post a spoiler on any social media, put a spoiler warning, like, damn, I was so disappointed. Anyhow, I still enjoyed it. And I think it would still be a good book to check out. Vampires and games and trials and like the premise of enemies to lovers. And the FMC is a strong, badass female who's been through trauma. It's a story set up for success. It just didn't hit. I think it was the wrong book at the wrong time, that kind of thing. Regardless, it was still a good read. Now, this next book, I am obsessed. When I tell you I am obsessed with this story and the characters, A Trial of Fate by J.E. Larson. Now, this author actually reached out to me and asked if I wanted to read her book and asked if I had heard of her book before. And I was like, yeah, I have. I was so pleasantly surprised because this is very underrated. This read is so underrated. And I think it's kind of got some similar aspects to like ACOTAR and, all those. But this has shifters and not just like wolf shifters. There are like owl, bear, bird, everything. Shifters. Okay, there's going to be games and trials. There was not games and trials in this book, but it is setting up for the next book, A Trial of Heart, I believe, to be the games and trials. This follows our FMC Skylar. She is half shifter, half human, and they live in a world where there is also fae, and the royal fae come seeking the shifter's help. And there's kind of a little bit of a love triangle going on between the main male character and her childhood friend. I love this. This was so good. I'm obsessed and I cannot wait for book 2. I flew through this. I honestly wish that I would have picked this up instead of The Serpent and the Wings of Night first. I think I would have came out of the book slump faster and enjoyed the last book more. This is on Kindle Unlimited. Then I read The Red Queen by Victoria Aveyard. This is a young adult fantasy series and this was so good. And it's really funny because I read Lauren Roberts' Reckless and a lot of people were saying that there was some copying on both sides, but this came out first. So let that record be set straight. But this follows a society where there are the reds and the silvers. The silver blood folks are the elite people. They have magical abilities and they are the rich and wealthy. And the reds are like the impoverished people. This follows our FMC Mare. She is a red and her 2 older siblings were shipped off to war as the whole red society does. They wait till they turn 18 and if they do not have a job then they ship them off to war. I love this. This was so good. Also, this book is 10 years old. If you haven't read this book, this is a really fun introductory to, I think, fantasy. So this is young adult, so there's no spice. There is some romance and you're not really sure who Mare is going to pick, but this was really good. I really enjoyed it. And if you're wanting something different and a little bit different paced without spice, also, this is a good pick. Then I read Of Blood and Banes by Courtney Wims. This is book 2 in the Arterian series. Now, this was sent to me as an e-arc, and I am obsessed with this book series. If more people don't start reading it, I am going to lose my mind. This was so good. This has dragons. This has a love triangle that in my opinion is done well. The first book is Of Flames and Fallacies and the second book Of Blood and Banes will be out September 4th. I loved it. I love it so much. I gave this book 5 stars. This was one of my 5-star reads for the month of July. I love our FMC Katarina. She is a heartfelt character and I love her. And I love the 2 main male interests because honestly, I don't even know who I would pick. Yeah, but if that sounds like something that you would like, then I would definitely check it out. Then I read What Did You Do by Janine O'Reilly. Now this was kind of conflicting for me because I read book 1, How Does It Feel? And I did not care for it. But it kept me entertained because I read the whole thing in less than 24 hours. Same with this one. I read it in less than 24 hours. Something about Janine's writing, it just drew me in. I really thought that I was not going to continue with this series, Infatuated Bay series. I kind of like this, so I think I'm going to continue reading it. There are quite a few plot twists that I did feel like they were some of them were unnecessary. It was a quick read, and I had already bought book 2 before I even read book 1. So I felt like I had to read it. I had to at this point. And I was not that disappointed, honestly. It's dual point of view, and I like the cover. And it has fae and shifters, and I like those kinds of things. So it is a dark fantasy romance though, so don't get me wrong. The first book was dark. There were some things that also I think didn't excuse it as being dark, like some of the romance, the startup to the romance, but I enjoyed that one, so I think I will be continuing that series. Now these next 2 were my other 5-star reads, and this series I am obsessing over. The Wolf King and the Night Prince by Lauren Palfreyman. I'm obsessed with these books, you guys. I am obsessed. Clearly wolves and a love triangle. Now, I am someone who loves a love triangle. I do. Okay, I grew up watching The Vampire Diaries, Stephen and Damon, Twilight, Edward and Jacob. Also, True Blood, Bill and Eric. Yeah. So I love this. This was such a fun read. And this follows the Princess Aurora. She gets taken from her home by the wolves. The human and the wolves are enemies, of course, right? But she's taken essentially as leverage. This is just such a fun ride, okay? It is spicy and it is good spice and it is not too much and it doesn't take over the story, which I love. And you genuinely don't know who is going to be the main male character that she ends up with. And the main male interests, the love interests, are literally Stephen and Damon from The Vampire Diaries. You can't go wrong with those. Actually obsessed. Now the last and final book that I read for this month was Till Summer Do Us Part by Megan Quinn. I had a good time. I literally have no complaints. It is unrealistic, you know. The whole story is so unrealistic. Our FMC, Scotty, she works for this company and they are all married and they're talking about, you know, what are you going to do with your husband, blah, 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 blah. And she feels obligated to say that she has a husband even though she's divorced. And then she has to find a husband. And they go on a couples retreat. It's very unrealistic, but that's what we want in our fiction, right? At least that's what I want. And I had a good time. I also did some of this on audio, and the audiobook was incredible. And Wilder is hands down one of my new favorite book boyfriends. He's such a silly, goofy golden retriever guy, and I love that. I'm here for it. I'm here for it. I love it. Anyhow, I hope this video is not going to be like 20 minutes long of me trying not to yap too much. And I hope that August will continue this theme of reading some books and stepping out of my comfort zone and reading different books that I wouldn't have originally thought that I would have read. Anyhow, that's all I got. If you like this kind of video, then please make sure you hit that like, you hit that subscribe. I am going to be here every week with a new video with some bookish content, and it'll be fun. We'll hang out, we'll talk books. But if you want to keep up with me daily, I am on TikTok every single day, and I do try to post regularly on Instagram as well. I will leave those somewhere. And that's it. I hope you all have a wonderful day and a wonderful month of reading. And until next time, bye.